Sometimes you should go a little slow in life. Park besides a nice lake under the winter sun and just cherish life as it comes. Perhaps even on a weekday like I'm doing today. Hello everyone, my name is Ishan and welcome to the Race Monkey. Today I want to share something which I've had a privilege of living for the last few days. This is the Range Rover L460 long wheelbase, which is proudly now manufactured in India. Now this gets a huge price cut, and in this top of the line autobiography version that we have over here costs 2.6 crore rupees ex showroom, which is quite a huge cut over the price tag that it already had. Now, as much as we know, this is the favorite of the royals, the rich and the famous in our country, and this perhaps is the best SUV money can buy today in India or anywhere in the world. And I have done a bit of a soft roading or a little rough roading, if you may say, coming till this lake, which the team at Range Rover politely asked me not to do. But sorry, Team Range Rover, no review of a Range Rover product is complete until I take it out onto the rough part of the terrain. Now, this L460 Range Rover Vogue in the long wheelbase format, and especially this one, which is manufactured in India, gets an inline 6-cylinder 3-liter turbocharged petrol engine, which produces 400 PS of max power, which is 395 bhp, and 550 Newton meters of torque, which is pretty healthy. But if you consider the weight of the car, which is 2,650 kilograms, you might feel that this is a little short-changed. But it sprints from 0 to 100 in 5.8 seconds, which again, for a car with this heft, is pretty substantial as well. Now, what I was most impressed by was the way it just wafts to that speed. I'm currently driving in eco mode, sitting on the 8th gear, doing about 100 kilometers an hour at 1500 RPMs engine speed. And I'm completely relaxed. The air suspension is working perfectly fine. I barely have any movement. Once I go to sports mode and I push the accelerator hard, it still feels magic carpet like, and that is how beautiful the overall dynamic ability of this car is. It's a wafter's machine, irrespective of the fact how fast you're going. And that makes the Range Rover the Range Rover. And this new generation L460 is perhaps one of the most refined Range Rovers in the history of it. Now, another thing that impresses me too is the braking capacity. Now, this car weighs surplus of 2.6 tons, and to stop it, you need some power. So in the front, we've got 380 millimeters of discs, and at the back, we have 355 millimeter discs, which are pretty big if you consider the size of them. But the bite that you get while you're braking hard or trying to avoid any collision is just fantastic. This is a very heavy SUV, and Land Rover has made sure that you have the best braking setup that you would require on a day-to-day basis, because out here on the Indian roads, although we are driving on the expressway, you have all kinds of hindrances and obstructions that make your life little miserable. So to avoid that, all of these technologies and all of these mechanical setups really make your life much simpler. Either you're on the driving seat or you're a passenger in the car. you'll be very, very comfortable. Now, enough talking about how the Range Rover Autobiography drives. Let's talk about how it looks from the outside. Here in the front of the Range Rover L460, things look beautiful, cohesive, and the way everything is put together is very, very good. Now you've got these flush headlamps with these 5-slat grills, which are very cohesive to Range Rover models. Range Rover badging over here, which again is reminiscent of all the Range Rover generation that we've had in the past. You've got the air dam at the bottom, which also houses the front camera and the ADAS radar over here. You still get headlamp washers. That is a very, very neat touch. As you come to the side is when you realize how beautifully and cohesively everything is built and how flush the entire body line is. You still get these slats over here, which a lot of people copy. You get these flush door handles which pop out when you unlock, all pop in when you lock the doors. You got this long wheelbase which is about 5.4 meters long. Massive wheelbase as well. Beautifully carved shape, which even in silhouette looks properly Range Rover. Now currently this car is sitting on access mode. If you go on off-road mode, the suspension lifts up, gives you quite a lot of ground clearance to go over rocks and different terrain. As we come to the back, this area is something which is beautiful and it's remarkable when it comes to Range Rovers. This tail lamps on the sides, if I unlock, you could see that these lights light up and it gives you the most unique part of the Range Rover in the current generation. Two shark fin antennas which also house the rear view camera, and the exhausts which are concealed under the front bumper. Now, as much as the exteriors are flamboyant, the interiors are swathed with soft leather and real metal everywhere. This is one of the most beautiful cabins in the industry. Here in the front cabin of the Range Rover, everything is as good as and as opulent as something out of Rolls-Royce or Bentley's factory. This is pure British engineering and opulence. To start off with, everything you see around the dashboard, over here, on your armrest, on your door cards, on your steering wheel, and these beautiful seats are made up of pure leather. These are cow hides. This is no fake leather or leathery that all these German manufacturers keep on advocating about. You have real wood inlays over here around, where you also have excellent storage space. You have two cup holders over here, which also opens up a secret passage for a storage under the cup holders. You have storage over here for your glasses and your wireless phone charging. You have storage over here for your glove box, and you have a storage over here where you have your glove box on the bottom as well. Electrically adjustable steering, which is leather on the inside and has this beautiful wood inlay on the outside. You've got digital instruments display, this massive touchscreen infotainment display which has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The typical Range Rover armrest, which are customizable for both the passenger and the driver. You've got this massive armrest in the middle where I'm storing my favorite fruit, that's the banana, and it is also cooled for you to enjoy your favorite drinks during hot summer months. Everything that you touch and feel is absolutely luxurious, and I cannot fathom how beautiful you feel while you are spending long hours in this car. While you go on the infotainment display, you also have heated and ventilated front seats. You have heated and ventilated rear seats. All four seats have massage function, and oh my god, so many of them. You've got multiple massage functions for the passenger, multiple massage functions for the driver as well. You've got wave, pulse duo combination, hot stone massage. Who gives hot stone massage in a car? And massage direction can be customized as per your needs and as per your liking. You've got 5 speed settings for the massage as well. It's just absolutely brilliant. This touchscreen infotainment display is very easy to use. You can swipe through all these menus and options very easily. It does get a little intimidating for the first time user, and over the week's time, if you are good with touchscreen infotainment systems, This is one of the easiest multimedia interfaces to use. It's pretty easy. All the functions, including your air conditioning functions, are hidden in this central infotainment display. Although a lot of people would complain of it, but I think it's just integrated really well, and these large buttons on the screen means that you can use it with absolute ease. Here in the back seat of the Range Rover is where the business end is. This is the most luxurious long wheelbase version, and it gets all the bells and whistles on offer. Everything has been ticked and it's just fantastic. I'm not the best specimen to test the space quotient over here, but I've got tons of knee room. I'm just 5 feet 8 inches tall. Got loads of headroom as well. These seats recline quite a lot, which makes your journey very, very comfortable. You get heating, ventilation, and massage with 5 speeds at the back. You also have this touchscreen over here where you can open up the cup holder to store your drinks, and this massive panoramic sunroof which liberates in quite a lot of light. You also have twin monitors over here where you can watch your favorite shows on Netflix, Amazon, or YouTube once you connect the HDMI port. And the overall sense of quality and opulence in this backseat is phenomenal. You also get these privacy blinds, which does cut away every sort of visual from the outside. And the Meridian sound system that is installed in this car is top of the line. It's got very, very good quality, but not as good as what you get in the Volvo, where it has Bowers & Wilkins and properly tuned acoustics. So that is where I am just left a little much wanting for more. But otherwise, in terms of practicality and luxury, this is as good as it gets. So another area where the Range Rover excels is in the way it rides around the twisties, over the bumps, and overall driving experience, which is fantastic. Now, we're going through the Leopard Trail, which again is full of twisties, but the roads have now become a little rough over the period of time. It's not as smooth or as racetracky as it used to be about 4 years ago from today. But the way everything feels in terms of its dynamic ability is just fantastic. Goes over unpaved patches like a king. What a fantastic car. And the way it corners is also something to write home about, because with its 2.6 ton heft, it's not supposed to corner as dynamically as it does, but it actually does corner, and it brakes really well as well. It just sheds off speed beautifully. The entire dynamic packaging of the Range Rover is very surprising, to be honest. I first thought that this would be a huge luxury barge with too much weight carrying around on all 4 ends, but oh no, this is a proper sinister car if you're brave enough. 400 horsepower perhaps isn't enough to pull its socks and go full Monty, but the way it corners is just fantastic. Just look at how beautifully it exits from the corners. It's just fantastic. Range Rover has done a solid job in engineering this car in terms of its dynamics. So for 2.6 crore rupees ex-showroom for this autobiography long wheelbase version that's manufactured in India, the Range Rover now is the most luxurious and well-engineered luxury SUV money could buy in this country. The way it has been packaged, the way it has been engineered, the dynamic ability, the opulence on the inside, the packaging overall of this car is something to write home about. Everything is beautifully crafted. Everything looks rich and built to last. And this is a very tough car. Of Of course, we haven't done very hardcore off-roading, but this is capable of doing some silly stuff off the rough surface. So with that, we conclude this video of the Indian manufactured Range Rover L460. I hope you liked our video. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. Do always wear your seatbelts and your helmets while you're on the road.